What is up, Scorpio risings? All right, if you have a Scorpio rising or if somebody you know has a Scorpio rising, this video is going to give you a lot more information on what that means, how to deal with yourself, how to deal with others, everything you would need to know about Scorpio rising. All right, so in astrology, when we talk about our rising sign is determined by which constellation of the zodiac was rising on the easternmost horizon at the day and time and place you were born. So knowing your birth time is going to be really important for this information. All right. So if you do have a Scorpio rising, automatically you are going to know that you are Scorpio the Scorpion. Okay. Scorpions are very deadly or have the ability to be. They can also be very, very toxic. So it doesn't necessarily mean you are a toxic person. If a scorpion is just going about its business, it's just going about its business. It does not really sting and give that lethal blow until you are attacked. Okay. So that's the same thing for people with Scorpio placements, especially Scorpio rising. If you are attacked, you will go for the kill. Okay. So that is just don't mess with these people. Find something safe to do for real, because like Scorpio risings do not give a single F. They just want to make sure that they are safe and the people that they love are safe too. All right. So it's very almost like mama bear energy when it does come to Scorpio, when it has to do with the people they love and the people they care about, because they are also a water sign. All right. So anytime we're dealing with water, we're dealing with really, really deep emotional connections. Scorpio would literally kill for somebody. Like, it can get a little scary, honestly, like the lengths they are willing to go to create or maintain a relationship with somebody that they feel really, really deeply about, which can get really good sometimes, but can also get really not so good sometimes. So because they have Scorpio in the first house, then this energy is more so directed onto themselves. So if they themselves are attacked, or they might take things personally, or even like I do though think that Scorpio can sometimes be a little bit sensitive. So for example, like if somebody said something that they may not have really meant like that, Scorpio might take it in the worst possible way possible because of their mindset and how their framework that they see the world through is the lens of Scorpio. So they always see things, not always, but most of the time, they see things as like dark and they go into their little paranoid. Why did they say that? Did they say that because of this and this and this? What do they know? Why would they say that? When maybe they just said that, okay? Maybe they don't actually consciously know anything. Maybe they also channeled it about you, which brings me into an important point about Scorpio. Scorpio thrives on privacy and secrecy, okay? So they, especially if you have Scorpio within your first house or on your ascendant, you do not want to be out here blibber blabber, blibber blabbering, telling everyone your business, because that is going to be a really fast way for other people to mess with what you are working on, because Scorpios do have a lot of powerful energy with that Scorpio in the first house to transform any situation that they are in, to bring power to, I mean, they can destroy it or they can transform it into something better than it was. Almost think of like the Scorpion again. They have to not take off. What's the word where they get off their skin? Their skin renews, all right? They like shed their skin and become new again, and that old skin gets left behind. So Scorpio has that ability, Scorpio rising, Scorpio in the first house has that ability in any situation that they go in, which can sometimes be really good, but can also be very challenging for them because the constant cycle of, growth and shedding skin and like that can get really old, I'm not gonna lie. So if you do have a Scorpio rising, it is really important for you to understand your darkness as well, and like not necessarily let it rule your life. I do think that is going to be easier for some of you than others, depending on your other placements. But a lot of Scorpios, they can tend to get kind of like depressed, honestly, because if they only see darkness around them, it's almost like they have experienced so much pain, trauma, darkness that that's all they really know sometimes. So they keep going into those experiences over and over and over again because they're like used to the pain in some type of way, which can get interesting, right? Not necessarily where they want to be in life. All right. So What else about Scorpio? They definitely do cause pain for other people as well. Again, usually if they were attacked, then they will attack others. And I don't necessarily think they're gonna go out of their way to just attack whoever. It usually is based on emotions or like hurt feelings of some sort. Scorpio rising, very fierce energy, very like intense competitors in anything that they choose to put their mind to because with Scorpio energy there is that air of obsession, so they might get obsessed with their path, they're obsessed with themselves, they're obsessed with how others perceive them with that Scorpio energy. More importantly, they don't ever want to be perceived as powerless, okay? They hate being in positions that lower their effect or power. That's just not somewhere that somebody with Scorpio rising or Scorpio in the first house wants to be because their energy is very magnetic, all right, which means it is attracting a lot of people in general. And interestingly enough, though, with Scorpio rising, they are usually attracting people that are also attracted to darkness, not necessarily light. So having a very high level of discernment with, all right, who do I want to let in? Who's good for me? Like, who is feeding my Scorpio rising, like this dark energy? Versus maybe another placement you have, like let's say your Venus is in Libra or something, right? Like you wouldn't necessarily want to only encompass that words encompass that Scorpio energy because it's just going to be a little bit darker. With that being said, Scorpio does rule the sex organs, so they are really good at seducing people in general or using their sexual energy to get what they want. So people with Scorpio in the first house or Scorpio rising, they actually could be really good at like sex work or something like that. I'm not advocating or not advocating for anything. I'm just saying that is something that they are good at, generally speaking. This could also be like Pluto in the first house can sometimes take on this energy as well. They are very seductive. It's very much black cat energy though, too. So they aren't necessarily like Scorpio, if they want something, they're going to attract it through a lot of like either mental games or not necessarily mental games, but like emotional mental games. They'll like set themselves in certain situations to attract that energy to them, which can get really interesting. But it's Black Cat, so they like wait for people to come to them. They're a little bit standoffish. They're a little bit like, I don't know, what do you have for me? Like, what is this? Versus somebody with like maybe like a Leo rising might be more like or like golden doodle like whereas Scorpio's like I don't know you, why do you want to know me, like what are we doing, can we make money together, can we fuck you know what I mean, like that's really Scorpio rising for you. I don't want to say that that's all that they are, but it does kind of come down to that too. These people tend to be very good if they wanted to get into any sort of occult, anything. They generally thrive within those societies because of their personal power and their want and need for power. That's essentially what it comes down to with Scorpio rising. They want to feel powerful and they are going to reject and attempt to destroy anything that stands in their way. All right.